social distancing on March 30th, 2020. And in accordance with Iowa Code Section 21.8, the Woodbury County Board of Adjustment is holding this meeting via teleconference. As usual, the board will follow a similar procedure as going through the agenda items, as opening a public hearing and closing a public hearing. To begin the night with, before I turn it over to the chair, we do have a new member of the Board of Adjustment, Ashley Christensen, who is here with us tonight, who was appointed by the Board of Supervisors in January. So we do welcome Ashley to the Board of Adjustment. And
welcome.
And at this time,
thank you.
Chairperson Collins.
Okay. Do we have any citizens wishing to be heard? Okay, hearing none. Okay. Then do I hear a motion from the floor, so to speak, to approve the minutes of December 2nd, 2019?
Should we maybe take an inventory of who's here first?
Yes.
Pardon me?
Yes. At this time, let's check in with who is present. I will first read off the names of the board. Is Bob here? Ashley?
Yes.
Katie?
Speaking.
Dwight?
Here.
Tom?
Here.
Okay, from the public, Todd Szymanski?
Yes, I'm here.
Andrea Flood?
Here.
Okay, anybody whose name has not been called?
Just me, Dan. David.
And David, okay. Okay, David as well.
Over.
Okay. With that said, Chairperson Cowley, I think we had a motion for the minutes on the floor.
I was asking someone. I couldn't hear if someone actually made a motion.
In terms of motions, I will do a roll call of each board person's name once a motion and second are put into place.
Dwight or Tom, can you make a motion?
I'll make a motion to December 2, 2009.
This time I second it.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay,
Motion. Go ahead.
to clarify, Dwight made the motion and Tom the second.
All those in
Right.
favor say aye.
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 All those.
I
Thank you.
did ask for a roll call vote.
Oh, sorry. That's all right.
Okay, Ashley, how do you vote?
Aye.
Bob Briette.
Is now joining.
Sorry about the delay, people.
Aye.
Dwight?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes 4-0. I noticed that Bob has entered. Bob, can you hear me? This is Dan Priestley.
Yeah, sorry about the delay there.
Okay, well,
Yes, I can hear you.
We had just approved the minutes. Okay.
Okay. I looked them over and I didn't see anything on them anyhow, so.
Dan, this is Dwight. Maybe what we ought to do, and somebody started this, when you're speaking and you're done speaking, you ought to say over or something like that. So that's kind of like radio communications, and you don't talk over anybody else. Over.
Okay, if we can turn it back over to the chair. Over.
Aye.
Okay, Chairperson Cowley, you have the floor.
Okay.
Chairperson Cowley.
Motion. The third item on the agenda is the election of the 2020 chair and vice chair. Do we have any motions from the floor? If not, I'd like to make a motion that Dwight Roram be nominated as chair. Over. Sorry.
Okay,
Over.
okay.
This is Tom. I second the motion. Over.
We have a motion on the floor. Are there any other nominations for chair? All those in favor of Dwight as our chair for 2020, please say aye. Or please do roll call.
Roll call, Bob. How do you vote?
Aye. Aye.
Ashley,
Over.
Aye.
Katie,
Aye.
Dwight,
Aye, thank you.
and Tom.
Aye.
Motion passes. Over.
Do we have any motions for vice chair, please? Over.
How about Tom? Over.
I'll second that motion, Katie. Tom, are you willing to serve as vice chair?
Oh, yeah, I'd do it. As long as Dwight never absent. That'd be fine.
You'll be in good hands. All those in favor of Tom as our vice chair for 2020, please respond to roll call.
Okay, Bob, how do you vote?
Aye. Over.
Ashley,
Aye.
Katie,
Over.
Aye.
Dwight,
Aye.
and Tom.
Aye. Over.
Motion passes. Over.
Well, Mr. Chair, I'll turn the gavel over to you, though you can't see it. Over.
Oh, that starts tonight? Okay.
Okay, Chairman Dwight, it looks like we're on agenda item number 4. Over.
Okay. We have a variance application for a public hearing. Todd and Tara Shemansky, owners of Scarecrow Farm at 1592 Charles Avenue, Lawton, Iowa, 51030. And the parcel number is given in 894635351002. Commercial, general commercial zoning district. The request of the Board of Adjustment is to approve their request for a variance to build an admissions building within the front yard setback. Over.
Chairman, I can read some facts of the case, but we will need to open up a public hearing as well. Over.
Okay, I move we open the public hearing for that variance and application that I just talked about. Over.
We don't need a roll call to open, do we? Or do we? Yep.
This is Dwight. I think what Dan is waiting for is that spiel we usually read at the beginning of the.
Well,
Yeah, I actually missed the last part of what was said.
okay.
Over.
Do we need a motion to open it for public hearing, Dan, or do we just, is the chair's announcement that it's open enough?
Well, I think we have done by motions in the past. So.
That's what I make a motion to open up discussion public hearing on the Szymanski application. Over.
We have a motion
I'll second
to
that.
open up the public hearing
I'll second that
for the
motion.
variance
from Bob.
application. Over.
Okay.
Do you have a second?
We have a motion and second. Over. I'll go ahead and read the roll call. Bob,
Aye.
Ashley,
Aye.
Katie,
Aye.
Dwight,
Aye.
and Tom.
Aye.
Okay. Yeah, Chairman Dwight, and Lord, the facts of the case about this variance is that the property owner, Todd Szymanski and Tara of Scarecrow Farms, wishes to have a variance approved to build a structure in between two existing legal non-conforming structures within the general commercial setback. In a general commercial zoning district, the required front yard setback is 50 feet, and the property owner is requesting relief to build within 25 feet because of the nature of the property, the hardship of both elevations and with respect to flood. This respective conditional use permit or variance request was properly published in the newspaper, Sioux City Journal's legal section. The property owners within 500 feet of the property were notified via letter, and various stakeholders have been notified and asked to offer comments, as are provided on page 8 of the packet. One of the key stakeholders of this is the county engineer because of the situation there on Charles Avenue. And the county engineer had stated as long as this new building is no closer to the road than the existing buildings on site, he has no objections with this respective proposal. He had commented that the property owner has done a good job managing operations, and basically the county engineer supports the approval as long as it does not go closer to the road than the front edge of the existing legal non-conforming structures. The staff recommendation for this, based upon the 3 criteria as presented from pages 9 to 10, are in favor after looking at the 3-prong analysis of approval of this motion, or excuse me, this variance. Over.
This is Katie calling. I would like to ask Mr. Szymanski, are you ready to answer a couple questions? I have one.
Yes.
I was just interested and wondered if you could go into more detail. You alluded to the fact that having this would actually help alleviate congestion and avoid any close traffic onto Charles Avenue. I wondered if you could delve more into that and describe why you say that.
Sure. This building will allow us to have more cashiers. So we've designed it so that we can have more people to help with admission, and we've grown quite a bit over the past few years, and we're not really sure when we're going to plateau. So we're just trying to continue to be forward thinking. And so if we can move people in faster, we can alleviate any congestion in that front area. We'll also do a little bit of queue line zigzagging, if you will, with portable fencing and bike rack, I guess. So a couple of things that we're doing there. The other reasoning behind this, we're trying to expand our food and beverage offerings. We have so many customers that ask for more in the food and beverage end of things. So we want to build a bakery, and the building that we're using currently, we'll make that into a bakery, so we can offer food and beverage out of that. So there's quite a few different little aspects of this, but we really feel that central location helps us because we have that parking lot that's on the south end of our property between the metal buildings and Highway 20, and that'll hold about 100 cars. Well, we also have that bigger parking lot that's that's north of the buildings, and that'll hold about maybe 300 cars. So part of this congestion is people that park in that back parking lot come up, they get confused because they see the main metal building that we use that's the exit, and so kind of alleviating some confusion, increasing our capacity. There's quite a few aspects of this. Over.
Thank you. Thank you. Over.
You bet.
This is Dwight. So perhaps you're going to put some signing up there maybe to help people out, eliminate any confusion? Over.
Signage, yes. Yeah, so we will increase our signage. One of the problems that we have is that current admission building that we use, which is it's the closest enclosed area to Highway 20. It's set back about 35 to 35 feet from the west, what I call the front end of the building. It's set back about 30 to 35 feet. So when people come from that north parking lot, there's a real problem with them knowing where they're going because they just literally can't see that admission building. So yes, we will do more signage, but it also is in a much more prominent spot. So it just the vision of being able to see that building is much better.
Yeah. This is Dwight. I would think too, I don't know if you've had any problems in the past with parking on the county road right away or on the roadway, but I would think that if you have, the county engineer would be very vigilant to make sure that doesn't happen. So that'd be kind of helping yourself with that signage, I suppose. Over. Yeah,
we're very observant of on the busy days watching people, and it's an everyday occurrence on the weekend that people will pull up and they'll decide that they want to park along the road because I think that it's just it must be a common occurrence at other places that they go to or something. I don't know, but we're always watching people. We'll put some signage out sometimes, but we're always watching, and once in a while we'll miss someone, but we'll make an announcement, and they're typically in an admission line, and we'll get them before they go into the farm. So we're very vigilant about trying to keep people from parking on the road. Over.
Are there any other questions of the property owner? Over.
I have one more. Just when exactly did you open up your doors, Todd? Over.
2011 was our first year. Over.
Okay. Thank you.
Is there any other discussion on this item? This is Dwight. Over. I asked if there was any other discussion on this item.
This is Katie. I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion has been made to close the public hearing. All in favor?
I think we need a second. We need a second.
This is Bob. I'll second the motion.
We have a motion on the table to close the public hearing of item 4, variance application. All in favor, say, well, you want to take a...
David Gleiser.
Is now exiting.
Dwight, I can read the roll. Bob?
Aye.
Ashley?
Aye.
Katie?
Aye.
Dwight?
Aye.
And Tom?
Aye.
Over.
I wonder who, this is Dwight. Somebody exited the conference call.
That was David Gleiser.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I will clarify that David has left the audio, but he's joined in person now, so over, he's here.
Okay. Nice to see you, Dave.
Okay, Dwight, it looks like we closed the public hearing on this agenda item, so
Okay. We should open the public hearing on item number 5, conditional use permit application public hearing. This is for Todd and Tara Shemansky, owners of the Scarecrow Farm, and I'll not read the other stuff in between it, but a request for,
Yeah.
Dwight,
Yeah?
can I Dwight, before we do that, would the board entertain some type of motion on the rule on the variance?
oh, not voted on it, but okay. All in favor of the variance application, item number 4.
Well, we had to make a motion. This is Katie Colleen. I'll make a motion to approve the request by the Shemanskys for a variance to build an admissions building within the front yard setback. Over.
Thank you.
This is Ashley Christensen. I will second that motion.
All in favor, Dan, poll the committee.
Okay, we have a motion and second. I will read the roll call. Bob?
Aye.
Ashley?
Aye.
Katie?
Aye.
Dwight?
Aye.
And Tom?
Aye.
Okay, looks like motion passes. Over.
Great.
We need a motion to open item 5, Dan, for the conditional use permit application of the same parcel and same party.
Yeah, we can go ahead and open the public hearing. Over.
I feel like the bull in the china shop, but I'll go ahead and make a motion to open up a public hearing for the 5th agenda item. Over.
I'll second the motion.
Okay. We have a motion to open the public hearing in a second.
Aye.
Katie,
Aye.
Dwight,
Aye.
and Tom.
Aye.
Okay, we're open, over.
This is a public hearing for conditional use permit application. Public hearing for Todd and Tara Shemansky, owners of Scarecrow Farm at 1592 Charles Avenue, Lawton, Iowa. And I won't read the parcel number, but it's the same parcel we just dealt with. You request for a conditional use permit to sell alcoholic beverages, including beer and wine, as a part of the Scarecrow Farm business operation. Dan, you want to?
Yes, Dwight. Basically, the property owners intend, as Dwight said, to sell beer and wine on their general commercial property. They have a plan and intend to control consumption based on state aid requirements, areas that alcohol can be consumed on their front parcel only, and the amounts that can be served to their customers. Alcohol beverages may only be allowed, of course, in the general commercial zoning district through the execution of the conditional use permit through the Board of Adjustment. This has been published in the Sioux City Journal newspaper in the legal section. The neighbors within 500 feet of the property have been notified via letter. The area agency stakeholders have been contacted, and Siouxland District Health as well has been contacted, received information about their licenses. And after staff review of the criteria, the 6 criteria, and the other considerations as enumerated in the zoning ordinance, the staff recommends approval of this conditional use permit for the property owners. Over.
This is Dwight. Does Mr. Shemansky care to comment on the conditional use permit?
Do we have any questions?
I see on the stakeholders that the sheriff's department wasn't contacted, or I don't see that, I guess. Did they have any opinion on it?
Bob, this is Dan. We don't have any official comment from them. Over.
Okay. Okay, that was just a general question. I didn't know if they had, typically if they had input on something like this. But, so you're saying basically there has been no negative concerns?
Yeah, we haven't received any comment about this subsequent to the notification of the landowners or relevant stakeholders.
Yeah, all my concerns are addressed then. I have no problem with it.
I guess I have just a slight question, and it's because of a comment in staff analysis suggesting that Shemansky should have a business plan to ensure that this added service does not adversely impact the neighborhood, the traffic, parking, and general health, safety, and welfare of the community. Is that standard language? Is there a business plan format that Mr. Shemansky can fill out? And if so, is Mr. Shemansky willing to do that? I guess I would like to know why the business plan was mentioned as a suggestion.
Katie, this is Dan. Basically, that's a terminology that we kind of used internally to try to pull together different aspects of what a conditional use permit of this nature could entail, kind of different impacts of it. And kind of in the application process, it looks like the property owner has laid out some aspects of how they wish to control let us think a bit more about how to protect the public health and safety of the area citizens. So that's kind of a way to get the property owners as well as us around that aspect of, the safety aspect.
Okay.
So,
Thank you. And so then as a follow-up, I guess I would just like to say, I thought that a lot of those concerns had been addressed in the application. So there was nothing that really raised its head as an issue for me. Over.
And the original application is Dwight again, that they will have to require a liquor license, right, from the County Board of Supervisors. And the owner of the property is aware of that. I do see in the applicant response that you're only going to sell beer and wine and not hard liquor.
That's
You
correct.
you don't think that'll slip over to hard liquor?
No, we have no interest in doing hard liquor. It's a completely different liquor license and dram insurance. But it also, in my opinion, hard liquor, maybe it's a different animal. It's a harder substance, and I think that we're trying to accommodate. We've had so many customers that have asked us, hey, how come you're not selling beer? How come you're not selling a hard cider? How come you're not selling, wines that fit the season? So I don't think that a whiskey Coke or vodka water or something like that really fits what we're doing. But the environment and the business that we operate, I think an Oktoberfest beer or a local wine, I think there's a lot of tie in there. So no, we have no interest in doing straight hard liquor.
This is Dwight. I guess I'm not aware if you have a license to serve alcoholic beverages. I don't know if it qualifies in the license as to it'd be everything, beer and.
No, there are different levels, Dwight. This is Colleen. There are different levels, and Szymanski alluded to it. You also pay higher dram insurance rates if you're selling hard liquor, so it is two-tiered.
Okay, I did not know that. Are there any other comments by any other comments by the members of the board?
Yeah, this time, are you going to be selling like packaged wine and beer to go out also in closed containers or specialty beers or so forth? Over.
I believe that the state licensing does allow to go. I don't know that that's something that we're really interested in. Our beer will be draft, so we won't do any draft to go. But if we establish a relationship with a winery that's in Iowa, and would we potentially sell their wine to go? Maybe so. But I know that there's some stipulations on the Iowa Alcoholic Beverage Division licensing on whether or not that's permitted. So it's not really something that we're saying, oh, let's be a liquor store or a convenience store where we're selling all this beer and wine to go. That's not our objective by any means. But selling wine as an interesting add-on or something where people could take home, possibly.
Yeah, I thought maybe with the specialty wines you might sell the bottles to go. That's all. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for your question.
Good question.
Are there any other comments? Over. I hear no additional comments. How about a motion to adjourn the public meeting and to act on the applicant?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second it.
We have a motion to close the public hearing and second it. All in favor? Dan?
Okay, roll call, Bob,
Aye.
Ashley,
Aye.
Katie,
Aye.
Dwight,
Aye.
and Tom.
Aye.
Okay,
Now we need a motion for further discussion, if necessary, by the board members to consider the application. If there's no discussion.
Go ahead. I'd make a
go
motion
ahead.
to approve I'd make a motion to approve the conditional use permit based on the language supplied by Dan and Dave.
I'll second that. Colleen.
All in favor?
okay, I'll read the roll call, Bob,
Aye.
Ashley,
Aye.
Katie,
Aye.
Dwight,
Aye.
and Tom.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes.
Just to clarify, Dan, the motion would include the language on pretty much of staff analysis.
That's what I was looking at.
Yeah, that's what I thought, Bob.
Okay, you want the resolution to have, reflect the staff analysis?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay. Okay, something of the nature that meets the 6 criteria within the analysis.
Yeah, exactly. Just so it's clear that everything's the way it was presented.
Okay, over.
Well, Mrs. Chemansky, this is Katie Colleen again. You were the very first case I ever heard on my tenure with the Board of Adjustment, so it's a pleasure to see that your business has continued to grow and thrive, and I wish you well.
Was that in 2011 on the original meetings?
No. For me, it was the 2014 meeting.
Okay. Well, we appreciate your guys' continued support, and we know that we come to the table sometimes with some odd requests because we're a different type of business, but thank you guys very much for your consideration.
Fun to see it. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now we need to open the conditional use or public hearing for a conditional use permit for considering the Woodbury County Fair Association.
So moved. This is Katie.
This is Ashley. I will second that.
Okay, looks like we have a motion and second to open. Roll call, Bob,
Aye.
Ashley,
Aye.
Katie,
Aye.
Dwight,
Aye.
Tom.
Aye.
Okay, motion approved, we're open.
Okay. The conditional use permit is involving the Woodbury County Fair Association, which has submitted a conditional use permit application for the sale and consumption of beer during future Woodbury County Fair. The fairground is in the general commercial zoning district on parcel 894432204001 in the southwest quarter of the northeast quarter, section 32 in township 89 west, range 44 west, Arlington Township, and adjacent to the incorporated area of Mobile. And that is just for beer, right? The way I read it.
Yeah.
Dwight, this is Dan Priestley. The fair representative is Andrea Fleck. Andrea, are you here on the line?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, just checking. Okay, Dwight, if I
And
may, basically, as Dwight had said, the fair wishes to sell beer on the county fairgrounds. This has been published in the Sioux City Journal. The property owners, 123 property owners within 500 feet of the fairgrounds have been notified via letter, and we have not heard any inquiries. The agencies, stakeholders, like before, have been submitted for comment, and we have not received anyone that has had any issues or any comments for this respective proposal. As the staff went through the application, which was very comprehensive, your packets included a plan in terms of the grandstand area and the beer tent, which would be provided for the packet. Kind of going through the 6 criteria as well as the other considerations. The staff has concluded that staff would support approval of this conditional use permit for the fair board. Over.
This is Dwight. Has everybody had a chance to read in the documents attached to the application? It's description proposed conditional use summary. Has everybody on the board had a chance to read that?
The applicant's response to description of conditional use, is that what you're asking?
We got to that, yes. Description proposed conditional use summary.
Yes.
This is Dwight.
This is Bob. I've
pretty-
read through that, and I've got to commend you on being so thorough. I've been looking at these for close to 15 years, and this is about as complete response as I've seen. So I think you guys have done your homework, and you've shown a lot of response. Let's put it that way.
thank you.
Does the board representative have any comments in above that, or in addition to?
Well, I think, excuse me, like Bob said, it's pretty much straightforward. This has been something that some of the board members have considered for years. Primarily, it's happening now because we have a board who sees that in the future there are improvements that need to be made on the fairgrounds, but we also see that we don't want to raise all of our prices on admission, camping, fees to get into the grandstand, stuff like that. So we do look at this as an additional way to get some more revenue. We do know, and we've known for a long time, that alcohol, even though not permitted on the grounds, has always been a part of the fair. And in talking with other fair boards and people involved with other large events like a fair, the Clay County Fair, for example, I've talked to their manager several times about this, and they served beer for the first time officially this last year, and they said in past years they'd had issues at their grandstand with people getting into fights. They've had lots of disturbances, alcohol related or not. And he said for the first time in his tenure with the Clay County Fair, there were no disturbances. Things just ran more smoothly. They were able to control it. And in addition to that, on their biggest night, they did gross $30,000 in alcohol sales. We are nowhere near on the scale of Clay County Fair, but there's something to be said about that when you're talking about one of the largest county fairs, in the United States. So it's something that we hope will do good for our fair.
All right.
Over.
This is Dwight. I read that application and the proposed everything before the meeting a couple of times, but what I missed, or maybe I didn't see it. You would not allow individuals to bring beer or alcohol onto the fairgrounds? That's a question.
Correct. No, they would not be allowed to bring alcohol onto the fairgrounds. As it sits now, you are not supposed to bring alcohol onto the fairgrounds. It is, for the most part, contained to the campgrounds, and we don't see it. And we do know that it is consumed in the pit area. Again, something that we are aware of, but it's hard for us to control. We would not allow any additional outside alcohol onto the grounds. In there, it describes the type of beverage that we'd be selling. It would be a certain size can, 16-ounce can, which is not your typical size can that comes in a pack of, if you were to buy it at the grocery store or the convenience store. And we would only be selling, I believe it's Bud Light products. We would go with L&L Distributing is what the board was leaning towards. So we would know that there are only a certain few specific beer brands that we would be selling, and it would be a special size can. So we would have volunteers who would be out with the general public in all of these grandstand areas, kind of monitoring who's consuming the alcohol, making sure that they had a wristband on, and making sure it was something that we actually did sell at the grandstand, and it was not an outside alcohol that they brought in.
Okay, and the people selling would have to be of legal age, right?
Correct. We are actually a partner with a local nonprofit, Awesome Biker Nights, and they have sold alcohol at their events for several years. They know what they're doing when it comes to alcohol sales. None of us on the fair board are bartenders by any means, so we figured for at least the first year we can sort of cater it out to a group who does know how to do this task specifically, and we are hoping that maybe they can teach us and guide us to do this properly. Over.
Okay. Any other questions from any board members? Over.
No, I don't have any. I'd make a motion that we close the public hearing.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Okay, roll call. Bob?
Aye.
Ashley?
Aye.
Katie?
Aye.
Dwight?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Motion passes to close. Over.
Okay. Any other items or discussion that needs to take place by the board?
No, I'd just like to make the comment that when you're dealing with liquor licenses and private entities, it's not the same as doing it with, it's not a public entity, it's a not-for-profit. The county fair board kind of represents the county as a whole. That it's real understandable to see some people that would be opposed to this or have reservations at least, but I'm not one of them. So I guess with that being said, unless there's any other comments.
I've had comments from some people that in the camping area, I know that's not necessarily considered, well, it's on county property, but then the people might get a little tanked out there and whatever, and bring that attitude into the fairgrounds, we'll say. And the way I read it, you're going to have some Sheriff's Reserve people there to take care of anything that would come up that would need attention.
Correct, yes. We always have sheriff's posse. There are some centrally located throughout the day, and at least until I would say 10 o'clock at night. They're almost there as a vendor next to the beef barn, which is, like I said, centrally located on the fairgrounds. We've also got local Mobile Police Department personnel who are roaming the grounds. We do have sheriff's posse who sit at the campground entrance, and they do patrol up and down through the campground. During fair, our campground is full, and there are 150 full-service spots. So at any given time, if you've got a family of 4 in a camper, you've got close to 600 people in that small space of the fairgrounds. And yes, it can get a little wild, but it's always contained to the campground, and it is not an area that we are going to be selling the alcohol. The liquor license, which would just be for beer, is going to be contained solely to the grandstand area and the Legion building, which is all on the north end of the fairgrounds. We, with the liquor license, would not be liable for anything outside of that area. So all of that consumption in the campgrounds would not pertain to this part of the license. It's just kind of an atmosphere that has always been that way, and there has never been too many disturbances that have warranted a complete dry campground, even though we ask that you don't bring it in. But for the most part, those people who stay in the campgrounds, they love the fair. They know it's for the kids. It's a family event, and I mean, I've been going to the fair since I was little. My dad was on the fair board way back when, long before we even had an official campground, and I cannot remember a time where someone on the grounds during the day or even at night had to be removed because they were too intoxicated to, to be there. So it's just not the atmosphere that is really necessarily a bar or a party atmosphere. It's still the county fair. And the whole idea of this liquor license, like I said, is one, to serve an additional concession item that we can make more money off of, because if you go out and look at some of those buildings and some of our facilities, they do need some help. And this is just, like I said, another way to raise funds, and another way that we can hopefully maybe entice more people to come to our events. Over.
I agree. Any other citizens that attended this meeting wish to make any comments? Hearing none, how about any board members would want to comment or make any inquiry? Hearing none, entertain a motion to adjourn. Unless you want to have something to say, Dan, or...
We haven't voted yet.
Dwight, this is Dan. We would need a motion for a decision on the result of conditional use. Over.
I thought we did that.
No.
That was a public.
Continuing with my comments that I was making earlier, I was going to make a motion to approve the conditional uses permit.
I'm sorry for the error. We need a motion to approve the conditional use permit application for the Woodbury County Fairgrounds.
This is Colleen. And Bob, I presume within your motion you're saying as long as they comply with all state and local requirements concerning alcohol, just the standard language.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
I will second that motion.
All in favor?
Okay, we got a motion and a second. I'll read the roll call. Bob,
Aye.
Ashley,
Aye.
Katie,
Aye.
Dwight,
Aye.
Tom.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Over.
Okay. I'm waiting for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I just wanted to, can I ask Dave and Dan, a year ago we were all about the floodplains. Has there been any more discussion about the floodplain management ordinance being changed?
Katie, this is Dan. We have been looking at it and presented it over to the zoning commission, but in light of the COVID-19 problem going on, the zoning commission has decided to delay it until a time that is more feasible, where there can be more public interaction.
Public input,
Public
okay.
input. This doesn't
Sure.
seem to be the right time during this situation to consider that. So that's kind of been tabled for a while. Over.
Thank you, that makes sense, but I had it in front of me, so I just wanted to ask. Over.
We have a motion to adjourn.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor, say aye. Or did we already do that?
No, who made the original motion?
I kind of vote to adjourn. This is Dwight.
Dwight, this is Dan. Just for clarification, did you make the motion?
I did.
Okay.
Not very well. We're gonna. I hope we don't have too many of these over the phone, or we're gonna have to.
One's plenty.
Yeah. So we have a motion to adjourn.
Dwight, you can make the motion to adjourn. Just with Robert rules of order, we can call it closed.
Okay, I made the motion to adjourn, and I think somebody seconded it. I'm not sure who.
Tom, I second.
It looks like Tom seconded that, so I can do the roll call.
Okay.
Bob,
Aye.
Aye.
Katie,
Aye,
Dwight,
Yes. Aye.
Tom. Motion passes. Over.
Say, I don't. Earlier when I was talking to you, Dan, I said I wasn't going to go down and review any of the properties because I was kind of familiar with it, but I don't know if any of the other members went and looked if they have to turn in their mileage to. I don't know how you're going to.
We'll email it.
yeah.
If anybody went out on site visits or anything, we can email the forms to you and fill those out.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I actually did. I almost never do, but I did because I wanted to make sure I had it right in my head. Not that I'm right in my head, but you know.
Well, I had to ask Dan. I got kind of confused about that. I drive by it probably about 4 or 5 times a month, and I got confused with tin sheds on the other side of Charles Avenue there. I was trying to put 2 and 2 together, and I wasn't getting 4.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I had it clearly laid out in my head before I talked about it.
Well, stay safe, everybody. This is Dwight.
You as well. And
Okay.
thank you, everybody.
Remember the guidance. Remember the guidance we have about this COVID.
Yep. Thank you for walking us through this, Dan.